good evening, and welcome. Tonight we'll be continuing our read through of the 2022 Night Sky Almanac to see what the sky has in store for us for the month of April. So let's just dive right in. I apologize for any cars outside. It's been quite a loud night. I have no idea why, but it is what it is. That's what happens when you live in a big city. So here we go for April. We're going to read this. We'll look at the sky, and then I'll read a little segment in here in the beginning of the book. So, starting off with April's events. The nights are getting shorter, but on the plus side, they're also getting warmer. The morning sky is isn't the shadow in the way? There we go. The morning sky is a cornucopia of planets with Jupiter, Venus, Mars, and Saturn all lining up along the eastern horizon. The four stretch up slightly northward and make for a great pre-sunrise treat beginning on April 15th, as Jupiter will be particularly low on the horizon. This month there's also a meteor shower, the Lyrids. It's not a strong shower as it only has a ZHR of roughly 18, but it can produce some fireballs. The peak is on the night of April 22nd to 23rd. And if you're wondering what the heck is a ZHR, that's what we're going to read at the beginning. I'll read to you all about meteor showers and what else to expect in terms of meteor showers this year. Let's see. It's no joke. The new moon falls on April 1st this month, and again on April 30th. Apogee falls on April 7th, with perigee on April 17th. The evening of April 3rd is your last chance to use the moon to find Uranus before it disappears into the twilight. Look for the planet in binoculars below and to the right of a 3-day crescent moon low in the west. Between April 24th and 27th, the waning crescent moon parades by Saturn, Mars, Venus, and Jupiter. On April 27th, a beautiful crescent moon sits below and between Jupiter and Venus, the two brightest planets in the night sky. On April 30th, there is a partial solar eclipse that will be visible only in the southern hemisphere, which I would show you, but it's pretty much in like the South Pacific. So if you're in like Chile or the like South Pacific Islands, that's pretty much like the only place you're going to see it. Maybe like Hawaii or so, but not a great place for the rest of the planet to see. Any Chilean viewers out there will probably get to see the partial solar eclipse, which will look like that. Not as cool as a full solar eclipse, but that won't happen for a few more years. But speaking of the southern sky, let's check out what highlights we're going to see. I'll read you a paragraph and then we'll look at the chart and find the stars. So, highlights in the southern sky. Leo the lion is still high in the east and is a great binocular target, while Gemini the twins is now high in the west. The star Capella still shines brightly in Auriga the charioteer, high in the southwest. So let's find Leo, which is right in the middle here. Pretty much not quite near the zenith. There are some majors up by the zenith, but Leo, and then of course next to them is the twins, Castor and Pollux, the twins, and Gemini. And Capella shines in Auriga. Look at that big chariot with Capella shining bright right there. Really easy to spot. Let's see what else. Hydra, the water snake, is still stretching across the southern sky, though it's not a very prominent constellation despite its length. As in March, the beehive cluster Messier 44, which can be found north of Hydra in the constellation Cancer the Crab, is in an optimal location for viewing through a pair of binoculars. So Hydra is this big, long water snake, which says it's not very prominent, but that's okay. And there's Cancer the Crab with the beehive cluster right there, which there's a cool picture of it down here, which you can kind of see why it's called the beehive, because there's lots of little yellow stars in it. I like that. Very clever. One of the largest constellations is now above the horizon, Virgo the Maiden. It is the second largest of our 88 constellations and is famous for its exoplanets. In 1992, the first exoplanets ever to be discovered were found around pulsar PSR B1257 plus 12 in Virgo. There have been many more exoplanets found since then. On April 15th, a nearly full moon sits squarely within Virgo, above the constellation's brightest star, Spica, which represents an ear of wheat. Isn't that interesting? So Virgo, we can see right here. The Virgo's right here. I have to edit out all the loud cars, my goodness. And there's the exoplanets right up there. And there's big bright Spica. Let's see what else. Finally, it's time to say goodbye to Orion the Hunter, the Hyades, Melod 25, and the Pleiades, Messier 45, as the wonderful winter trio is hugging the western horizon by the end of the month. My goodness, it's so loud tonight anyway. There's big Orion, and what else did it say? The Hyades and the Pleiades. There they are. They're heading out of view, which is a bummer because the Pleiades are so beautiful and Orion's so easy to find. So let's check out what we're going to see in the northern sky. Let's see. Ursa Major, the Great Bear, and its asterism, the Big Dipper, are high in the north, though upside down. Let's see. Ursa Major with the Big Dipper there. An asterism being like a shape within a constellation, so the Big Dipper is inside Ursa Major. Anyway, this month is a great time to check out Messier 81, Bode's Galaxy, and Messier 82, Cigar Galaxy in Ursa Major. They can be seen in dark sky sites and are in the same field of view through binoculars or a small telescope. Let's see where we can find them. Right here, just kind of like southish of Doobie there. M81, M82, and there's a cool picture here of the Cigar Galaxy. That's really awesome. By mid-month, Hercules has risen above the northeastern horizon. The constellation is home to one of the most stunning globular clusters in the night sky, Messier 13. It's so magnificent that in dark sky locations it can be seen as a faint fuzz with the naked eye. With binoculars or a small telescope, the collection of more than several 100,000 stars is truly a sight to behold. The cluster is roughly 25,000 light years from Earth. Let's see. Hercules will be... I feel like it should be easy to spot. Hercules is pretty big. Do you see it already? Here it is. Hercules. And Messier 13 is right here. That sounds like a cool thing to look out for, that you can see it as a fuzz in the sky if you're in a good dark location. Might be one to look out for if I can this month. There's another globular cluster in Hercules, though not quite as stunning, Messier 92. It is also visible with the naked eye, though only under good dark sky conditions. Let's find that one right here, kind of like by his knee there. That would be so cool to try to find. I might have to go to a dark spot and see if I can see those. In between Hercules and Boötes the herdsman, you will find the small arc of stars called Corona Borealis, or the Northern Crown. To the Micmac First Nation, these stars represent the winter den of Muin, the she-bear. Isn't that interesting? So there's Hercules, there's Boötes, you can see bright Arcturus there, and look at this, the Corona Borealis. Isn't that a pretty little constellation, a little crown? I like that. Anyway, let's check out this section information over here I want to read to you about meteor showers. Let's see. I think it's after this. Alright, so I'm going to read to you about the meteor showers in 2022. First, let's read a bit more about what meteor showers actually are. There is nothing more wonderful than stepping out and looking up at the night sky, only to see a brief streak of light flash across the stars. That's so true. It's so wonderful to see a meteor. Almost monthly, we get major meteor showers. Some showers are best seen from the northern hemisphere, while some are better visible in the south, depending on the radiant. When astronomers talk about the peak of a meteor shower, they are referring to the zenithal hourly rate, or the ZHR. This is the rate of meteors a shower would produce per hour under clear, dark skies and with the radiant at the zenith. In practice, a single observer will likely see a considerably fewer meteors than the ZHR suggests, owing to the presence of moonlight, light pollution, the location of the radiant, poor night vision, and inattentiveness. That's the worst when you're watching a meteor shower and you look away for a second and everyone else goes, ooh, wow, and you missed it. That's the worst. Here is a list of major meteor showers that you can enjoy simply by staying warm and looking up. No special equipment is needed beyond your eyes, just to make sure you give yourself about 20 minutes to adjust to the darkness before searching for meteors. So we'll skip the quadrantids because those already happened. Let's head to the one that's happening this month, the Lyrids, from April 16th to 30th, 2022. After a dearth of meteor showers in the months of February and March, April brings us the Lyrids. This shower produces a ZHR of 18, so it's not a particularly strong shower, but the meteors that do appear tend to produce fireballs, which if you haven't seen a fireball meteor, absolutely incredible. Oh my gosh, it's huge. And, you know, meteors usually last for like a second. These last for like 2 or 3 seconds. They're awesome. Anyway, the waning gibbous moon won't interfere with observations on the peak night, as it rises in the early hours of the morning. So the parent object of this meteor shower is comet C1861G1, or Thatcher, and the peak night will be between April 22nd and 23rd. Next are the Eta Aquariids from April 19th to May 28th, 2022. The Eta Aquariids aren't a stellar show for the northern hemisphere, since the radiant rises in early dawn, but they can still produce a ZHR of 20 meteors if you care to get up early enough. Rather than fireballs, this shower tends to produce long trains through the sky. Oh, those are neat too. A waxing crescent moon will cause minimal interference during the peak. The parent object is Comet 1P, or Halley's Comet, and the peak night is May 4th through 5th. Next are my favorite, the Perseids, because not only is it the easiest one to go check out, it always falls during my birthday. So it'll be from July 17th to August 26th, 2022. For those in the northern hemisphere, the Perseids are considered the best show of the year. The weather is warm, and there are fewer clouds at this time of year. The shower's ZHR is 100, though rates of 50 to 75 are more commonly seen on the peak night. Unfortunately, an almost full moon will be in the sky this year, so only the brightest meteors will be visible. What a bummer. So the parent object is Comet 109P, or Swift Tuttle, and peak night will be August 12th through 13th, just after my birthday. Darn. So next is the Orionids from October 2nd to November 7th, 2022. This shower is considered medium strength, though it can sometimes surprise us with more activity. On average, the Orionids produce a ZHR of 10 to 20 meteors, though from 2006 to 2009, the shower produced roughly 50 to 75 an hour. The meteors that enter our atmosphere are fast, roughly 66 kilometers or 41 miles per second, and as a result produce long, glowing trains. Fireballs are also possible. There will be no moon to interfere with viewing on the peak night. The parent object is Comet 1P, or Halley's Comet. Peak night will be October 21st to 22nd. Next are the Southern Taurids from September 10th to November 20th, 2022. The Southern Taurids last for 2 months and have several minor peaks. Though this shower produces a ZHR of only 5, it can produce some fireballs. The shower is stronger in the southern hemisphere, though we can also catch a few meteors in the north. This book's from Canada, so that's why it refers to like us in the north. Unfortunately, a waxing gibbous moon will be up most of the peak night, which will make it difficult to see any but the brightest meteors. Parent object is Comet 2P, or Enki. Peak night is November 5th through 6th. And there's the Northern Taurids from October 20th to December 10th, 2022. Like the Southern Taurids, the Northern Taurids last roughly 2 months and have a ZHR of 5. There are often reports of an increase of fireballs during the period when the two showers overlap. An almost full moon will be in the sky on the peak night, making it challenging to see any but the brightest meteors. And again, it comes from Comet 2P, Enki, and the peak night for this one is November 11th to 12th. Next is the Leonids from November 6th to 30th, 2022. While the Leonids don't produce a high number of meteors an hour, they have a ZHR of 15. They can produce outbursts or meteor storms. The most recent such outbursts occurred in 1999 and 2001. Unfortunately, the next outburst isn't expected until 2099. Oh my goodness. Still, the Leonids do put on a show with bright meteors and long-lasting trains. A waning moon rises after midnight local time on the peak night. The parent object is Comet 55P, or Temple Tuttle, and peak night is November 17th to 18th. November, apparently a good time to go look for meteors. Next is the Geminids, December 4th through 17th, 2022. Due to the weather, with increasing cloudiness and chillier temperatures, December isn't an ideal time to catch a meteor shower. But December is the month with the most active meteor shower of the year, called the Geminids. This shower has a ZHR of 150, and the meteors it produces are usually bright and colorful. Unfortunately, a waning gibbous moon on the peak night will make it difficult to spot faint meteors. The parent object for this one is an asteroid. It's asteroid 3200 Phaeton. The peak night is December 13th to 14th. I feel like December is the time when I see meteors when I'm not looking for them, like I just spot them in the sky, you know. It's almost always in December. Lastly, this year we have the Perseids from December 17th to 26th, 2022. Right on the heels of the Geminids is the often forgotten Perseid meteor shower. The ZHR for this shower is 10, but sometimes you might catch an outburst that could produce a ZHR of 25. The great news is that the moon will not interfere during peak night. The parent object for this is Comet 8P, or Tuttle, and peak night is December 22nd to 23rd, just the time for solstice. So that's going to be it for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you found this video relaxing and educational, and I hope that you have a very good